You get an A, you get an A, you get an A. It appears as though our education system has become a lot like Oprah's TV show. Grade inflation has caused teachers to lower their expectations, students to become lazy, and is producing low-quality graduates from college and high school. These are the three areas that I will be focusing on today in our discussion. The first culprits we must examine are the teachers. Since they are the ones that hand out the grades, wouldn't they be the ones that are most responsible for this epidemic? But on one hand, high school teachers don't get to teach exactly what they want to, and they also have to deal with unruly children that don't want to be in high school and the parents that don't have any desire to participate in their children's education. On the side of the college students, though, it's a little bit more complicated. In Phil Primack's Doesn't Anybody Get a C Anymore, he states that many college professors fear tough grading will result in poor evaluations or even worse. And by poor evaluations, he means just poor remarks ending up in the hands of a dean or a department head or something like that. But more importantly, students who go on websites such as Rate My Professor or Word of Mouth and just give them negative reviews, which in turn gives them less students, which the way the college career system works, I guess, just turns out to be very, very bad for them if they don't get students. The direct correlation between how teachers are creating lazy students is they're lowering their expectations so that they will get more students in their college courses, and this is causing lazy students to be able to sneak through and succeed in college at a normal rate. In the same study from the Doesn't Anybody Get a C Anymore, Phil Primack states that students spend roughly half as much time as they did 40 years ago studying, and that is obviously a huge number, that students don't need to study 40% more and are getting just as good of grades, if not higher than they were 40 years ago. One prime example of students not being really prepared for the classes they come and take, or don't really care about school at all, is just last week in my English 121 class, I had one of my classmates sitting next to me raise his hand and asked the teacher, "So does this mean that I have to start writing my English essay now?" And my teacher just kind of gave him a look and politely said, yes, you do. And it's reasons like this that we're having trouble distinguishing what students are extraordinary and what students aren't. At the high school level, that's really important because that's when students that are extraordinary get pulled out for things like science fairs and other extraordinary clubs. And the students that aren't doing so well, they get assistance in the areas that they need assistance. A very prominent professor from Duke University, Stuart Rochester, in reference to students not being happy about classes they are in, he says, I had to get with the program and reduce my own expectations of workload and increase grades so that students would leave my class with a positive impression. And that's really kind of a head shaker because it's coming from a very prestigious college, Duke University, and it just makes you think that, are they really in it just so students will go to school and they can get the money and not caring about our education? On the other side of grade inflation, there are some positive aspects of it. While working on this, I was talking to one of my friends, Christian Wedland. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his last name. But he's in the nursing program at PPCC, and apparently you have to get pretty much straight A's to get through it and for it to be effective to go on to a nursing school. And he says in classes like AP2 and stuff like that, an entire class could not get an A. An entire class could miss an A, and and that could be devastating to everybody's grade. And in that case, the teacher has to evaluate how they taught the material and whether or not they should curve the score of the test and assist the class in questions that everybody missed and that obviously nobody really understood the concepts of. And that's really the only beneficial aspect of grade inflation. And grade inflation isn't going to get any better unless there's effort from both the teachers and the students, and obviously some administrative assistance as well. In conclusion, today I've discussed with you the negative aspects of grade inflation and how it's causing students to lower their expectations. Teachers to lower their expectations, students to become lazier, and thus it's producing lower quality graduates for our educational system. Thank you.